everybody, Leo here with the Access Control Executive Brief. And we happen to be at ISC West. Great show, first day. We're going to do a series of conversations with Lee that we've done in the past, and I'm excited to have one of my favorites. I will say that. I know.
That's so sweet.
Thank you. Lindsay's with me here with Badgepass. Thank you for making the time to do this. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love a conversation with Lee.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. So let's, for those that don't know you, which I know a lot of people do.
Sure.
But those that don't, introduce yourself. Give a little bit of your background too, because I love the story. Relate it back to the book, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And then tell us about Badgepass and like why you're here.
Okay, sure, absolutely. So I'm Lindsay Martin-Nez, CEO of Badgepass, and I got my start in the security industry despite my desire to never work in this because my mom was a systems integrator. And so I grew up kind of in it, and I was like, I will never do this. I'm going to do something totally different. And then her company actually resold Badgepass. She's since sold this business, and so the CEO of the company reached out to all the partners saying, this is the personality and type of person I'm looking for. And I was like, man, I could do that. And this is for a channel sales position. So I ended up taking it and moving to Mississippi. And that was 15 years ago. And a couple of years ago, I took over as CEO. So Badgepass, we're a software development company really focused on badge issuance and better enabling organizations to recognize and connect people. And so we are super focused on just building an awesome badging platform, and I'm excited about what we're doing.
Yeah, no, you're doing a great job, and it's been fun to watch. And one of those things you recently had the opportunity to be there, which I do appreciate, was Badge Up,
Yep.
which is how would you describe Badge Up?
So it was our first time doing Badge Up,
Yep.
but it was a partner event. It was designed for all of our reseller channel partners throughout the country, and also our vendor partners that had a chance to be a part of it. And really, it was supposed to be an opportunity for everybody to just get really engaged with one another. We made a bunch of big product announcements, and so they could all kind of hang out. So salespeople, technical people, and leadership positions from all of our partners. So kind of the best of all the worlds,
Yeah.
and bringing everybody together to get excited about what we're doing.
And why now was the right time to do it?
So for 10 years, we hosted this thing called the Tech Retreat, where we just brought our technical people in.
Yep.
And at the same time, we also hosted an incentive trip for salespeople. And I just felt like the products kind of changed a lot, where it really overlaps, and having the same people in the same room to talk about the future of it and not just have it be technical focused or sales focused.
Right.
This was just a good time for where we're at as a company and where we want to be.
Gotcha. And I guess, is there any advice you'd give the people that maybe they're wondering if now's the time to do something like that? What was the thing that sort of tipped you over the edge to say go? And then any advice you may have with people that, because I do believe these smaller, tighter shows where you're getting deep engagement with your customer base we're going to see even more of them. Now people do them, but we'll see even more.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have? And then also what was that trigger point?
So for me, it was kind of, I wanted people to feel something.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how else to explain that. I wanted to create an experience that wasn't like some boring conference. And I felt like anytime we went to events, it was kind of boring and the same old stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if we do something really cool that's different and fun, then our partners will be naturally excited.
Yeah.
And we knew we were doing a big rebrand of the product, so timing wise, it just kind of all lined up. And now we'll do it forever because it was great.
Yeah, no, I actually, one of the things that I took away was it was very much like your culture manifested in the show. So I think that's also,
That means a lot.
And so you mentioned some new products that came out. So can you touch on those? And then there's a theme, I would say, that came out that we'll talk about next. Tell people a little bit about what the products were and the value they're creating.
Yeah, absolutely. So we rebranded our cloud product. So our cloud issuance platform is now called Badge Hub. And the idea behind that was we really wanted to focus on customers understanding what we do as a hub, if you will, of anything related to badging. So whether that's a physical badge or a mobile credential, just being the people who own the cardholders' identities and sharing that seamlessly with any application that needs it. And not just access control, which is obviously the world that we overlap and live in together, but all kinds of other stuff that also use those same badges and credentials, and making sure that we kind of act as that starting central hub.
Yeah, very nice. So about the badge, right?
Yeah.
There's always, I don't have mine on me, I have mine here, has the name and the rest of it. Can you, I thought it was a great, emotional story, relatable, the campaign, I'll almost call it, that you came up with. Can you talk about that campaign? What was it titled? And then I got a bunch of questions to ask about it, but introduce it if you would.
Sure, yeah. We launched a campaign called Your Name Has Value.
Right.
And for me, when people think about the badge, I think this is a cool time. So in our industry, nobody's really been talking about the badge. It's been like an afterthought or something that people take for granted. And mobile credentials gave us an opportunity to have a seat at the table where everybody was suddenly concerned with issuance and like what our issuance process is and is this a nightmare and how do we make it work?
Right.
And so I was like, well, let's capitalize on that. But this isn't just a utility. And that's where I think that the badge it's just like something that you use to do something else.
Yep.
And I've worked with enough of our customers to know that that's not true.
True.
Like the badge is like really kind of tied to our mission to help people recognize and connect
Yep.
with one another. And the biggest part of that is your name on your badge. And so we've totally modified our card designs where your first name is in very large font. And the idea is there's all type of research and studies behind this about like employee engagement and how I feel at work and connectedness to my role and job retention. And I'm like, people care about that. And it's so much easier for people to be excited about coming to work and feel like they're a part of something when you just do something as simple as using their name. And so for me, I'm like, man, we have best possible platform to more visibly share people's names with everybody they interact with every day. Let's capitalize on that and help people feel something other than like, oh, this is just a card that opens a door.
Yeah, no, the utility around it, you said, it's like, and it also, the position you and then your peers, if you would, are in that position where you have permission to be authorities on this as well. And it would be sort of a wasted opportunity if you didn't take advantage of that. Because the reality is, like, it's not going to go away.
No.
No, it's just like a lot of things. It's going to be in addition to. It's an and conversation versus or.
Sure.
Although we'd like to have these or conversations because I think they're fun. But reality is that they're going to be. I mean, we have them here. Like there's a whole.
And you couldn't do this with mobile credentials because like it's important that people be able to say, hey, Lee. And like every exhibitor in there wants to be able to say somebody's name and recognize who they are. Like you need that visual component to it for more than just like security purposes. It's about like feeling connected to people.
Yeah. Well, and I truthfully believe that we only talk about it because we didn't have mobile before, and there needs to be this sort of juxtaposition in order to sell a value proposition. I think there's value in the mobile, but doesn't mean that it devalues other areas on that end, because I think it will be cards, it will be badges, it will be mobile, the modality choices there. But even more, the emotional connection around, like, I loved how you tied it into how at schools where students, if I remember correctly, let's see how well I paid attention.
Good, I like this.
That there was a percentage amount that if they heard their name, they felt more connected. And so there's a trickle down to people feeling part of a community based off of people being to know their name. And it's like one of those things was like, even if that was just true, having them wear it so that people had that connection because that one time, like it's probably worth it.
100%. And it's impossible to expect that every school cares about this. Schools is where I get like really passionate about this. But every school wants this and wants their students to be engaged, and they want to reduce absenteeism, and they want their kids like to have high self-esteem, and they all have all these different initiatives in, you know, having a teacher advocate or like a trusted employee, adult within the school. But if you've got thousands of students, you can't tell me that you remember everybody's name. No matter how hard you try, it's impossible.
No.
But go ahead and make it something. And then students use it too. So we also have this icon, like interest icon, awards icon thing that we do as like a point of interest, where you can personalize that badge with like symbols that are meaningful to you or the teams that you're on. And all of a sudden it creates connection points like away from your cell phone. And something where you can have like a real valuable conversation with a student, another student, or one of your employees and team members.
No, it's super smart, and I love it. It's totally approachable. It's a great marketing, but it's even beyond that. It's like it's something that people can rally beyond. And I know even Sia is starting to talk about like card badge formats and card formats.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
It's like a real thing that I think will start to do that. All right, I'm going to go off script for something that I wanted to ask you about. So. You're an inspiring CEO. Like you embody a lot of, I think, the change. That I'm not just talking like female CEO, which is like the easy sort of classic security trope to go to basically say. So I'm going to leave it. But no, I'm like the way you show up on that. So I guess for those that are aspiring, male, female, whatever, I don't care, to be in the position that you were. And if you look at your trajectory, especially here, where it wasn't a technical, there's a lot. I know you know technical stuff, but you didn't go. You weren't like an engineer right? So what what advice would you give to people that see what you're doing that they can relate to if they're in a position that says, I'd like to be in that seat at some point? Like, what's the one thing you'd walk away with?
Oh man.
Besides reading your book.
No, just
Yeah,
one. Let's
yeah.
see. I would say yes. So, like, say yes to going to stuff, say yes to opportunities, or ask if you're not being presented like the opportunity, ask for the opportunity. Because I was afforded opportunities to sit in meetings I didn't deserve to be in, to come to conferences like this when I didn't know anything. And I did it and embraced it and like just continued to learn and grow up basically within the company. And as a result, I had so many great opportunities, both at Badgepass, but in the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's been fun for me. And I think that people get nervous about that or they're intimidated by it, especially in this industry. Like it can be intimidating.
Yep.
And just like own who you are and show up and be that.
Beautiful. All right, we'll leave it there at that. Thank you, Lindsay, for taking the chance to do this, making time in a busy show that you have on that end. But
Yeah, thanks for having
kudos
me.
to you, what you're doing, and thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Lee.
Of course.